Hello everyone, I am Ruth Norton with Ruth's Stamping Corner, and I am super excited to share with you this adorable little box. I have them in 3 different colors. I have Fresh Freesia, Misty Moonlight, and Crushed Curry. They are so adorable, and inside each one is a little package of Oreos. It's a little 2-pack of Oreos. I found a whole box of these in my local Walmart. So you get the little golden ones and the regular ones, which we're going to make today. So I've made a ton of these little boxes. These are great little boxes to have on hand to give out to friends, families, coworkers, teachers, whoever. They fit perfectly into little bags. You can hand them out as you go through your day to tellers or cashiers, anybody who helps you out just to brighten their day. So I'm going to show you how to make these. It is a super easy box, and I think you're going to love it. We're going to make another Misty Moonlight one. So I'm going to put these 2 off to the side. We're going to do our Misty Moonlight one. If you are shopping for supplies, I have a link to my online store in the video description, and also in the video description will be my current host code. At the time of filming this, I'm not sure when this video will be posted, so I want to make sure that the most current host code is in the video description. So we are going to start with our Simply Scored, and the cardstock is 5.5 by 7.5. So you're going to be able to get 2 of these from every 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, which is fantastic. On the short side, we are going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1.5, and 4.5. Turn it to your long side, and we're going to do some scoring. We're going to do 1, 3.5, 4.5, and 7. Pretty simple score lines, nothing fancy on this box. So let's put our Simply Scored away, and we're going to grab a bone folder, and we are going to burnish on all of these lines. If you don't have a bone folder, you can buy one in my online store. The bone folder is one of the must-have tools, I think. It really helps, especially if you are making a lot of boxes. The bone folder will give you those nice crisp edges and those clean lines. That's the secret weapon, is your bone folder. All right, we're going to do some trimming. Holding it with the long side, holding it, landscape, there are 2 score lines on the top. This is going to be our top flap. So we're going to start on the bottom down here. So there's a little 1/2 inch tab over here, and I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to angle this little 1/2 inch tab at a little bit of an angle. And that's going to help our box go together. So we have a long rectangle one. We're going to cut straight up on that rectangle one and then notch in on this square. And we're going to do the same on this side, straight up on the rectangle and notch in on the square. The little outside tabs are going to get folded in, and nobody's ever going to see them. Or these little square tabs. So your notches don't have to be perfect. They don't have to look pretty. Just go ahead and notch those in. We're going to do the same thing on that last one. So that's what the bottom of the box should look like. So we're going to flip it over and work on the top of the box now. So similar to the bottom, we're going to cut straight down these score lines. This time we're going to cut off this 1/2 inch tab, and then we're going to notch these just a little bit. These are going to be the little tabs that do fold into your box, so these tabs will be seen, but I guarantee you nobody is going to be pulling out rulers or measurements to make sure that they are straight, and trimming the corners just helps your box go together much easier. So again, cut straight down that score line. Do the same on this one. We're going to fold these out of the way. We're going to cut off that little 1/2 inch tab. We don't need that. And then just trim these. All right, now this one is going to be the flap that folds into the box, so we actually don't need this one at all. So we're going to cut this off. So just go ahead and trim along that score line and just remove this whole piece. You have that little 1/2 inch piece on this side and then that whole piece. All right, so that is all the trimming with our scissors. I have a couple of punches. We're going to do a little thumb notch, which this is our best label punch. I've been using this one a lot for thumb notches. I think it just makes a really fun little fancy little edge there, and it's great for doing little thumb notches. I have a corner rounder. We don't currently have a corner rounder, but you probably have one in your stash. Otherwise you can get one on Amazon or in another craft store. But we're just going to round the 2 corners of the little flap that's going to go in. And again, that's going to help our box go together. All right, let's get some adhesive. I'm using my Stampin' Seal Plus for this. And actually one more thing to trim. I just want to trim the edge of this little 1/2 inch tab. Just angle that just a little bit. That way, if any of your measurements are just slightly off, trimming off all those little corners just help everything go together much easier. All right, so I put adhesive just on that 1/2 inch tab. And I folded it on that score line, and we're just going to fold it over. And I like to fold it back and forth just to make sure that everything lines up. So this is going to be the back of our box. It's going to fold in just like that. So this is the front, and so I want to glue down this tab last. So I'm going to fold in the back first, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of adhesive on each of these little trim tabs, and we're going to fold those under, and these are going to be sandwiched between the 2 bigger tabs, and so nobody's ever going to see it, and you're going to have a perfectly clean box on the inside. And then a little bit of adhesive on that front flap, fold that over, and your box is all put together. I'm going to stick my bone folder down there, just make sure that everything is all adhered together. Stick our little 2-pack of Oreos in there, they fit perfectly. And then close your box, and your box is all done. That is essentially it. Now I kept decorations really, really simple. I have a piece of the Delightfully Eclectic DSP. This is 2 1/4 by 2 3/4, and a little bit of adhesive on this. You could also pop this up with dimensionals if you wanted. This is just going to go on the front. And then we are going to do some really quick and easy stamping. I just have a tiny scrap of white here, and I'm using the Happy Labels stamp set from our annual catalog, and I'm just going to use this Yay. And I'm going to do Misty Moonlight Ink. And I'm just going to stamp that directly down. Now for my other boxes, my Fresh Freesia and my Fresh Curry box, I coordinated the ink to coordinate with those. So I did Fresh Freesia on the Fresh Freesia one and the Crush Curry on Crush Curry. So either one will work perfectly. All right, I'm gonna bring in my little paper trimmer here, and we are just going to trim this out so it's nice and even, and I'm just gonna trim the little ends just a tiny bit. If you're making a bunch of these, you can just stamp a whole row of these and then just trim them all at once. All right, little final touches with some embellishments. I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this because I have some of our boho blue ribbon. I love the way that looks with this DSP. So I'm just going to weave it up and down. I'm just going to start on one side, and then I'm just going to weave it back and forth and end on the other side, and then just trim that off like that. We have a really fun little reading piece there. And this one we are going to pop up on dimensionals. So I'm going to pull out some dimensionals here. Oops, it's coming up. Make sure that sticks down to your adhesive. Actually, let me fix that just a little bit more like that. There we go. And I'm going to take a strip of my dimensionals here and stick that on. That's going to further secure that ribbon in place, as well as adhering this to the box. We're going to stick this right onto the box. Yay. And then just to finish it off, I have some of our Tencel gems. These are the 4-pack Tencel gems, and you see I used a bunch of them. I used both I think this is the Berry Burst one, but I thought that worked well with the Fresh Freesia, so I think I have, oh yeah, I have the Berry Burst ones here, but I think they work really well with the Fresh Freesia, so you can use either those or the blue ones, and depending on which DSP you use, you could use any of them really. And I'm just going to do 3 of them on my little box, and that's it. That completes my box. I'll bring in the other colors here. So you'll have to tell me, do you have a color preference? Do you prefer the Misty Moonlight, Crushed Curry, or Fresh Freesia? This is a really simple box. It's a really affordable little gift. You can make a bunch of these in no time. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.